Welcome, Coach Figg, and kind of a nice year for you. And I want to get into all of that, but how's the return been to Jewell, where you graduated in 2008?
It's been awesome. I'll tell you, whenever Coach Waggle made the phone call and called me in late January of last year, it was a no-brainer for my family and I to both come back. So it was awesome. It's been a smooth transition. Everything's been great. The people here are what makes William Jewell what it is. So it was a no-brainer for us to pack up and move back north.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's kind of go through the resume here. You obviously were a student and an athlete here for 4 years.
Yeah.
Coached here for 5 years. Went to Arizona State as a graduate assistant.
Yep.
Then Southern Arkansas for how many years?
1 year.
1 year before coming here.
Correct.
That's quite a travel itinerary.
Yeah, I've been extremely fortunate in my short coaching career. Coach Waggle's the 5th head coach that I've worked for. So I've been really lucky to be with some awesome people along the way and learn some really great things along the way. So the couple years I spent away from here have allowed me to be in the position I'm in now. I mean, I grew so much in those 2 years from a professional standpoint, from family standpoint, from all those areas. It's made this trip back awesome so far. So
well, in Arizona State, top program, Division I, what was that like?
Yeah, it was great. The head coach, Todd Graham, was absolutely great to me. You know, I was a defensive graduate assistant, so worked right alongside with him on a daily basis, every single day, seeing the ins and outs of everything. And we were fortunate enough to win the Pac-12 South that year and go to the Holiday Bowl and got to do a lot of those cool things. But I learned a ton about football and even more about life whenever I was there.
Sure.
So it was those are great people out there, and Todd Graham was great to me when I was there.
And then Southern Arkansas, that opportunity comes up. What was that like?
Yeah, it was great. The head coach, Bill Keppel, great person. I was the defensive backs coach and special teams coordinator there. So got a chance to do some coordinating of the special teams there, which was a really good experience. Loved the players, loved the people there. It was hard. That was the hardest part whenever Coach Waggle called was leaving the players there, because they are just absolutely great people at Southern Arkansas, really talented kids. Great experience. Forced me to grow even more before coming back. So,
but you did come back, and was it the idea that you could be the defensive coordinator that drew you here?
You know, there was a lot of things that did. That's probably the biggest one, being the defensive coordinator and being able to be in charge of some of those things. And Coach Waggle's approach to the staff, he's very much, I'm going to hire you so you can do your job, and he lets everybody do their job, which is phenomenal. He's trusted me a lot, probably too much at times, defensively, but he really lets us work. Obviously he expects a really high-quality product of whatever we're doing.
Right.
But at the same time, he lets us figure it out. He lets us do our work, and he's going to guide us along the way, but he really steps out of the way and lets the staff work, which has been a really unique experience for me. So it's been really good.
Well, speaking of really good, your defense has been very good, and I don't know, maybe when I looked at you guys on paper, the 3 phases of the game, I would have put the defense as I had the lowest expectations for them. No offense, but I mean, we just didn't have a lot of returners there.
Yeah.
What's been the story behind the defense this year?
A lot of people told me when I first came here, they said, "What are you doing? You got some guys graduating, some different things happening, and our defensive staff is awesome. They've done a tremendous job, and it's all about the players. I mean, our players have completely bought in to the system that we're running. So I have, from a systematic standpoint, have kind of combined things I learned from the first time I was here, things at Arizona State, Southern Arkansas, and then kind of put my own twist on things schematically. But our players have bought into everything we're doing. I mean, you can do anything scheme-wise, and it'll work if your players are bought in and they play really hard. And that's one thing I'll say, our players play hard. Yeah. They play so hard. I'm so proud of the way that they've played so far this year, just getting after the ball and just really buying into what we're doing. And it all starts at practice. I mean, the way we've structured practice. And then our defensive coaches are awesome. They do a tremendous job of getting everybody coached up. So.
Let's talk about some of the players. I'm just going to drop a couple names on you because there have been a couple that have really stood out.
Yeah.
And starting in the middle with Nick Messer.
Nick Messer is a great person to start with. He is the guy that gets everybody lined up every play. He communicates, does all of our communication. He looks to me to the sideline after every play. Great kid, plays his heart out. He's been beat up for 2 years, and he just continues to put Band-Aids on and wraps on and comes to work every single day. Nick is a great player and a great kid.
Another guy having a great year is Robert Hurd. He's really put some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, Hurd has done a tremendous job. I was actually talking to Coach Wabel, our D-line coach, about him earlier today, just talking about what is it that makes Robert so special. Robert understands the game. He truly understands what we're doing scheme-wise, and every week he pays attention to the other team. He knows what they're doing. He knows what's coming, and it's allowed him to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
In the secondary, Isaac Dozier's 4 interceptions really stand out anytime you look at the stats.
Yeah, no, Dozier's a great kid. This spring, he struggled a little bit early, and he would tell you that too. And we looked for different people to play that position all spring long. And fall camp, he refused to lose that job. Yeah. Great kid. Another kid that comes to work every single day. He's in the playbook. He's in the other team's scheme, knows what's going on. Great kid. Plays really hard.
Well, I'll compliment you because a couple of things come to mind right away. First of all, not afraid to make changes when changes need to be made. And I'll take Marcus Moy for an example, changing him from an outside linebacker to a hand-in-the-dirt defensive end.
Yeah, when we came in looking at Marcus's production from last year, he led the team in sacks. In kind of our hybrid 3-4 scheme that we're doing, our weak side outside backer should be an extremely productive position. So we put him there coming off the edge a lot, and he was no production for the first 3 weeks. So we made a change and put him a defensive line, and he has really turned on. He feels a lot more comfortable there. In high school, he was a safety. So we thought, standing up, he'd be okay. And we talked to him, had a lot of conversations, and he said, I just feel more comfortable with my hand in the dirt. So we put him down there, and he's done a great job the last couple of games he's been there. So
redshirt freshman Quade Bauman has really come on.
Quade's done a great job. Loved him from the first spring practice. And he was backing up Marcus at that weak side outside backer position, and now he's playing every snap. He is tough kid. Really good kid, understands the scheme, understands his role, and we expect a lot of production out of him every week.
How about the almost the line shifts you're making on the defensive line, like hockey is my analogy here, but you're bringing them out three at a time.
Yeah, our philosophy there is to keep those guys fresh. We ask our D line to play really, really hard every play, and they're going all out every play. And in order for them to do that for an entire game, we've got to keep them fresh. So we've been fortunate that Coach Wabel's found 6 to 8 defensive linemen that are playing. And as soon as he sees them gassed, he rotates them, and the next guys are up, and they all know their role. They know if I play really hard for this many plays, I'm going to get a break. Right. So, but at the same time, it's forced them to know if I'm not productive, somebody else is going to play. We've made some changes at who started from game to game in there, and it's really forced those guys to be great because of the competition that's been put on them there at the defensive line.
What's the untold story with your defense that maybe people need to know about?
Our defense is all about how hard the players play. We try to be multiple through simple. So multiplicity through simplicity is our motto. So we try to give the appearance that we're bringing pressure every single play. We try to give the appearance that there's a lot of chaos all the time. But if you look at our scheme, it's very simple. Our players know exactly what to do to different formations. And going back to Nick Messer, extremely intelligent young man. He makes a lot of checks based on the offensive formation or a tendency that we've seen that week on down and distance. You'll see Nick making hand signals, all over the field, getting the guys lined up. So our players have taken ownership of our defense and really made it their own. Throughout the game, they're making checks. They come to the sideline, and I tell them, hey, you guys are out there playing. Tell me what's going on, and they can tell me exactly what's going on. And they say, hey, Coach, I think we should do this. I think we shouldn't do this. And we trust them, and we do it. And it's worked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. As we talked about earlier, 9 years with the program, as an athlete 4 and then as a coach 5. How have things changed? I know there are a couple of obvious things, but what's your reflection on that?
Yeah, like I said, I've worked for 5 different head coaches, 3 at Jewell. All 3 extremely different. Learned a lot from all 3 of them. So from a staff standpoint, it's been different, a lot here. Athletically, making the move to Division II was a big jump for William Jewell. And I think that we're where we need to be, or we're going in the right direction as to where we need to be Division II. That's probably the biggest change, is just going from the NAIA to Division II and the quality of athlete and person and all those things that we've been able to recruit.
Got to compliment you again on being way overmatched in terms of the young lady you married. Trent Figg now was an outstanding setter. I don't know if she ever got her due recognition. I always thought she was a great setter here. So who's the best athlete in your family?
Man, that would be an argument that you'd probably have to ask a lot of different people, but it's absolutely her. And we've got a little boy now who's 13 months old, and hopefully he's as athletic as his mom.
Yeah, his mom, okay. Well, so how is Titus, and how is it being a dad?
It's awesome. Yeah. It is absolutely awesome. And going back to the family thing, I wouldn't be able to be in this profession if it wasn't for Tori and her support for what we're doing. We've lived in 3 different places in the last 4 years and worked for 5 different head coaches, and she's extremely supportive, and being a dad is awesome. She
Yeah.
brings him out to practice almost every day. He's running around, he's all over the place, loves the turf, loves to be involved with the guys. So it's been really special having him around and being able to be back close to family. Having a little guy too has been lots of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Finally, Trent, not to put you on the spot, not this year, not next year necessarily, but what are your career aspirations? You want to be a head coach?
I do eventually want to be that. My biggest goal is to beat Truman. Find a way to beat Truman this week. It'd be crazy if I told you that someday I didn't want to do that.
Right.
Those opportunities come and go as things happen. But yeah, at some point in my career, I would like to be a head coach. But right now, we're just trying to put the best defense on the field and find a way to win one game at a time.
Yeah, it's been impressive. So we'll keep that roll going.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Trent Figg has been our guest, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
Thanks.